how does one overcome confidence, or overcome fear and gain confidence, whether they're starting a new venture, whether it's going in through a job interview or asking that girl out for a date, whatever the case may be, it's all confidence and overcoming that. What tips can you shed on overcoming fear and gaining confidence?
Confidence is a muscle, right? So the more that you rest that muscle, the more that muscle becomes stronger. I had a unique experience when I was in college. A pretty girl passed me and I didn't say hello. I was very, very shy and respectful growing up. And it just happened to be that unique situation where I said to myself, college can go one of two ways. I can either communicate with everybody or communicate with nobody. And that's a very different college experience. In the middle is awkward. I made the decision at that point to go from shy to ultimately I had a long career in sales and a successful career in sales. But I think looking back on it, what you realize is that confidence is literally a muscle. Like you have to take that first step to decide to dive into your fears and to dive into, communicating more, whatever that may be. But once you start taking those steps and hopefully you have a good environment that mentors you and pushes you forward, because a lot of it is environment. You take that step, you build your environment, and then it just becomes second nature. So I had the confidence, right, to quit a high-paying job and become an entrepreneur making no money for the last 18 months. I barely made anything. But, speaking of Colombia, my business partner came down here. I've always wanted to come down here. I grew up sheltered. Eventually, I said, you know what? I'm going to Colombia, man. I was so scared. Honestly, I was fearful to go to Colombia.
Right.
But it's a beautiful place. There's beautiful people. I'm now living on the beach. I've met some of the most awesome people that I've ever met. When you travel, you start to people see you. It's like, there's that gringo, and there really aren't many in Cartagena, Colombia. It's a relatively small city.
Oh, they didn't buy your Colombian accent?
Nah, people want to engage you, So, yeah, the way to get over fear is to dive head first through it. And the only last thing I'll share is I've been blessed to have a few mentors in my life, Evan Carmichael and Joel Neeb. I built those mentorships. I built it by reaching out to them, engaging them, and their two biggest philosophies are, on the other side of fear is your best life, basically. And so from that, I've just started diving into it. Evan says, if you're fearful, if you're scared, anxious, or afraid, that's an indicator that you got to go do that thing. And that's how I live my life now. Not
so much, kind of similar to the mountain quote, where to me, I'm always curious, okay, well, there's a mountain here, but what's on the other side of that mountain? You got to be willing to do things that others aren't willing to do in order to get what you want. First and foremost, like you said, it's a muscle. The more you go to the gym, the more you got that flex. And also, the more times you go to the gym, the more of those Lululemon girls you see wearing those Lululemon spandex. That, for me, that's motivation. And also for me, if you're not sure if it's going to work out, I'd rather just say better in oops than a what if, because there's time you can never get back. You can always recoup, you can always regroup, recalibrate, but you never want to go 30 years from now wondering what if, because life has, who knows what will happen by that time.
Yeah, I went from the shyest kid in high school to that one moment to then a super successful sales career where I learned how to build relationships to now an entrepreneur because of how I communicate, so it's but if you frame it from a very simple question, are you afraid? Are you afraid or fearful or anxious?
Yep.
If the answer is yes, you do it. What people need more of are very simple equations. That's a very simple equation that you can use to step outside of your comfort zone.